I want to share with TI some things which may be useful for you. If you're a TI and you suspect you're being targeted through Stingray technology, I encourage you guys to utilize apps like Eagle Security Unlimited. I'm not going to share with you guys how to use it because it'll show you my home address and I want to conceal that. But this app is great. If you end up getting one of these red little flags coming up, sometimes it'll say, like right here, where it says wiring probability. If you see it over 20%, typically it is Stingray. When you see it 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you know for sure it is too. So you want to enable your notifications. You can stop it right here. And what I do is every once in a while I use this app if I'm being harassed a lot, like at a gas station, where I walk, where I shop. And you may notice when it's occurring a lot, by doing this, when you have something popping up saying Stingray and you're being harassed, well, what's the probability of an event that's going to happen? You're being harassed, you're seeing Stingray technology coming up, so you can put two and two together. You're being tracked through Stingray technology. A lot of these groups are going to be like members of your CIA, contractors. A lot of military is doing this also. So you notice on the bottom of this page it says main. If you click on the right, you'll see a map and it'll show your house and it'll show where the Stingray device is connected to. The enemy, what they will do is they'll try to throw you off and they may spoof locations next to your house, next to different people, like around where you live, and have you assuming the device is there when it's not. So they can spoof like 40, 50 locations. If you have a lot of free time, you can travel to different locations, and sometimes you'll find these people in a white van. They may be wearing light blue clothes, a thin blue hat. They may be wearing a suit with a thin black tie and black shades. They may linger around bowling alleys, parks, hospitals, just different places in your community. They may also utilize, like here in Orlando, I had an experience with one group called Linux, and these guys came up to me and started honking their horns, waving at me, saying, "Hey, I like, I know you." Like, "No, you don't." And they drove off. It was really weird. It happened the first year I was here. So I want to share something else. Now, today I went to this local school and I was up here. I was actually seated right here at this window right here, the second window, and I was using my computer at this school. So there's a public library there, and my car was parked right next door, right next to this black vehicle. And I noticed something odd, that while I was upstairs, this vehicle right here, hold on a second, let me go back. A vehicle right there was parked just in front of my vehicle, and then it moves further back and it goes like 8 spaces to the right. So I'm like, now if you see stuff like that, typically those are perpetrators. They're doing surveillance. So I'm up here, and the whole entire time while I'm working on the computer, I can see this car parked near me and it has its lights on. The exact moment I exited, the vehicle moved, it left, and I was in my vehicle, and it decided to go further back and mingle in with the cars. It doesn't mean the guy's a perp, but that's very suspicious. Also, another thing, if you're in a school, and this is the guy's tag right here. So this is what's even more interesting. The guy exited his vehicle, and then he walked like 50 feet, and he just stood there, and then he walks back to his vehicle, and then he leaves. So imagine you're at a school and you see this person, you're up there and you see the lights, you see him park, and he sits there for a whole hour, and then you come out, and then he moves 4 or 5 spaces, and then he gets out of his car, walks 20 feet, walks back, and he leaves. So what they used to do is the exact moment I would walk out, numerous people would whistle, and they would have stickers like American Legion, VFW. There'd be members of sheriff's associations, and some of these people came wearing suits, and they came as a group. So some of these surveillance teams will come as a group. One day, I was wearing an American flag hat, and it was a group of them. They came all together wearing American flag hats. They sat around me, and then when I left, they left. It was just really weird. Also, you may notice a lot of similarities with these people. I remember I was taking a marine mechanic class around, I think it was 2008, and one lady signed up, and she was really nice with me. But what was really interesting, one day I had to see a counselor because I was being severely mobbed in the class. I was being called a spick. I was being harassed by people which have ties to the Air Force, CIA. It was really bad. They came with a CIA logo on a vehicle to a school. This has happened in multiple schools where I've been harassed. And to make a long story short, the lady was sweet. When I went to see a counselor, she was able to bypass all security checkpoints. It's a highly secure facility. And the lady said she's a special agent. I'm like, what do you mean a special agent? She says she's not FBI. I can't say anything more. And I started dealing with a lot of people with short feminist haircuts, cars where typically people that have six figures can afford to drive. You may notice also that when you try to talk to like Department of Homeland Security or State Attorney, FBI, you can't talk to these people. So my assumption is a lot of people are being watch listed. So you may notice that there's a tremendous amount of patriotic people involved in this, veterans, mostly white homeowners, and you may notice that they're systematic in their approach, and you may notice that the police don't help you. Matter of fact, I wrote the Fusion Center about 3 weeks ago. I never got a response back. So when you look at this program and you start studying it and you start seeing the people that are used, don't be surprised if you're followed to multiple occasions by one person, the same person. And this is no joke. Sometimes if you get their VIN, you may see stuff in their front seat. Like one day, this guy harassed me at a gas station. I left without buying the gas. I got his VIN, and I seen on the right side of his car some papers, and it's an American Legion, the Four Pillars. So this is a lot of this is tied to CIA, I believe, national security. It's just one big scam, and you may notice that a lot of times these people will harass you at gas stations. Now, this morning I had a really weird experience. I go to a gas station. This guy walks up to me. He comes to a complete stop and he whistles really loud, and he just stands there. The cashier asked him, "Are you okay?" So I go to my car. I notice the exact moment he gets in his car, this car takes off. They were together. And I recorded in a city called, not a city, it's a town called Mount Dora, a similar encounter. It was really, really weird. And the guy came with he had a truck. This guy has a truck, kind of like the other experience. So it's a long story. I'm not going to talk about it, but it was Mount Dora. Make a long story short, I should share it. The guy got behind me, whistled real loud, and called the cops. I just walked away, never looked back, and called in for a high-risk operation. And this was occurring while I was fishing. Anything I was doing human, I was getting harassed. So let me, these are my NFTs. I'll share them with you. Hold on a second, just a few of them. So you can make these with different AI programs and stuff for free. So I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble on YouTube, but I haven't checked them out. Some of them are pretty cool. This one's kind of hot. So if you're a TI, you may want to look at like OpenSea. You can utilize MetaMask, and you can upload some pictures, NFTs, and stuff of anything. So it's pretty much all I want to share. Let me see. I like this one right here. Bear with me one moment. This is pretty dope. So this is all made with AI. You just type in the words you want, and then you can make some cool art. So there's some people that are doing pretty good with it. I haven't been able to make any money with it, but I guess if you have some free time, you might be able to make some money with it. Some people, they'll sell theirs, they'll make it, and they'll sell 50 cents or $1. This one's the coolest one I like right here. So it's something you may be able to do for some extra money if you're bored. You have some time on your hands. I don't put my faith in it though. So if you want to check out my NFTs, hold on a second. I can share it with you. I'm on OpenSea, and I don't regularly check it, but let me see. OpenSea, and Restricted. I'm restricted 75921. So if you want to check out my NFTs, if you're into NFTs, check it out. Whatever I get, I'm going to be using it to leave the country. I no longer want to stay in the United States. I'm desperate to get up out of here. I've been harassed by Jewish people. No joke, there's times I just get up out of bed and go to Publix and buy stuff, and it can be like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm just buying watermelon bread, veggie meats and stuff, veggie bacon, and I might have a Jewish guy parked next to me, get out of the car, walk up to me, whistle, get back in his car, and leave. So it's pretty much it. And I think the reason why they got mad at me, never accused them of being behind 9/11, but this pen was given to me by a World Trade Center relief worker. It was back in 2010 during the BP oil spill, and we were talking at a cafe, and I was looking for a side job, and he said, you can grab any pen you want from here. I needed a pen to write down notes. He said, all this stuff comes from the World Trade Center. I even have a piece of rubble. He had staplers, and anyways, I made a video, never made accusations. I just found it weird. They left days before the bombing at the World Trade Center, and I was being harassed by people wearing suits, people that looked British. It was crazy. Black SUVs, Masons. I mean, a lot of people with Talmudic beliefs. Some of the people that were coming my way looked like they were involved in the human trafficking thing. I'm serious. Kind of like what ex-FBI agent Ted Gunderson stated in his affidavit about gang stalking. Anyways, I had Gaddafi's association. He followed me. Some of his people in his government. I had different government leaders following my page. It was kind of a trip. People from different governments. So I guess they had to try to shut me up. I took the video down and I fled to Albuquerque from Florida. And the first day, a lady from Virginia, she's ex-U.S. Army, moved in across from my apartment. And then I was threatened by a guy from Langley. And it was the first day I lived there, and went to the FBI. The FBI didn't want to help me. I lost 45 computers, another 6 computers in 7 weeks. It was crazy. Absolutely nuts. And the FBI didn't want to see it, none of the evidence. So I'm assuming they have some type of Israeli partnership, because they came to my school. They harassed me there. They harassed me where I live at. It was really crazy. So anyways, peace.